Hi, everybody. It's Lindsay Baker with the Action Hour, and today I'm here with two guests to honor and remember Regan Russell. So I want to introduce Amy Jean Davis from LA Animal Save and a good friend of Regan's, Katherine Wightman. We also have Ray Kowalchuk possibly joining us a little later. He's having some technical difficulties. Ladies, thank you for being on at this very difficult time. Katherine, what are your thoughts being here today? Tell us, what are you feeling right now, and what would you like to share about Regan?
I've said the loss is massive. I don't even know if I have the actual words to describe my personal loss, and looking at her family and friends and all those around her. It's a tragedy. It's been a week, just over a week. It feels like a year. For me, she's been my big sister since I was a teen. I'm a grandmother now, and I feel like I've lost my right arm, as many people do. She was the closest person, friendship-wise, to me, and she was my lifeline, the most compassionate, caring person I knew. And I am who I am today because of her, because of what she's taught me.
Thank you for sharing that. Amy, would you like to add anything? We're going to look at some footage of Regan just now, but go ahead.
Well, I can't imagine the loss. I didn't know Regan personally, but I know her by her activism. So just feeling, very sad for her family and for the community as a whole for losing such an incredible light warrior.
Let's hear in action here.
What's your name? Regan. Regan, beautiful activist trying to give water to the pigs.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
You know what? Put it in my mouth and then we'll see that it's just water.
Trespassing? That's nothing. They bring them in the trucks and they let them sit there.
Yeah.
They're all together and they can barely stand up. There's no water for them. And that's why we went in.
Amy, you are founder of LA Animal Save. Can you address what you're feeling right now, what you're seeing? Tell us, is that normal for one of the drivers to come or whoever that was and try to take the water from her? Does that happen a lot?
Well, it has happened in the Toronto area and Burlington a few times that I've seen. It doesn't happen here in LA. Here we have the local police department helping us bear witness and protecting us from any sort of angry truck drivers. But I have seen this happen in Burlington with other activists, and it's because they don't have the support of that local police department, which is such a simple thing, and it keeps everyone safe. And so we can see here that they failed Regan, they failed the rest of us. And so from this, you would think that a greater safety agreement would be finally drawn up and agreed upon. However, one of the primary reasons Regan was there, besides to bear witness to the pigs, was to bring awareness to Bill 156, and Bill 156 essentially makes it illegal to bear witness. So this has complicated the situation, and we need all hands on deck to pressure the Canadian government to repeal this major suppression of free speech.
I think Ray's back. Let's see if we can add him in now. Ray, can you hear me, Ray? Ray. Okay, still not able to hear him. I'm gonna just have to. I'm gonna go ahead and play another clip right now. We'll leave him.
Except the people who work there tell us, and we get video footage of it, they won't let us in because they know what they're doing is wrong.
Yeah.
Still not able to.
It's breaking up a little bit.
I'm just going to
other clip right now.
I thought it was really beautiful to see her there at the end. She looked so happy being there for the animals. You know, it's just so moving. I guess we still don't have Ray, so I'm going to have to remove him again. Katherine, can you just, I don't know, have the words to even ask. Tell us what you're
hear
thinking.
now.
Go ahead. Sorry. Katherine,
Well,
go ahead.
do I go back out and in? Or
Katherine, are you not able, is your mic turned off? Katherine? Katherine, go out and come back in. Oh my goodness. She can't hear me. I don't know what to do.
Are you on this?
Katherine, go out.
That's right.
Okay. What do I do? I just took a picture of it. That's all.
No, you can't.
See, I don't have her direct. Let's see if I can email. Anyway, we're just going to have to go on. Amy, can you just talk for a moment about what you saw? You look like that really affected you emotionally. I can understand. Why do you want to just address that for a moment?
Well, I've been to that slaughterhouse numerous times to bear witness with the other activists at Toronto Pig Save. So it's still a bit surreal to see Regan and all the times that she bore witness, and just knowing that she's not going to be able to do it again. And it's because in bearing witness, she was killed. It just doesn't make any sense to me. People that are driving vehicles, even a small vehicle, should always take extra precaution around people. Like, just because you don't agree with what we're doing or why we're there, or the way we live our lives peacefully and with kindness, just because you don't agree with that doesn't mean that you get to use your vehicle to hurt us, and much less, much more kill us. So it just doesn't, compute in my head that someone would do that.
And there's really, the investigation hasn't been completed yet, so we don't know exactly what did happen, but we certainly want that investigation to go forward. Do you know anything? Or maybe Katherine, can we hear you now? Can you speak, please?
Thank you. I'm not sure
Oh,
what
thank
happened.
goodness.
I'm back in. I know the criminal investigation is underway.
Good.
And nothing has been, finalized now, to my knowledge at all. I know the family and friends and everyone is anxious to hear. The tragedy is that she's gone. So the outpour, or, what happens will be dealt with, obviously, appropriately. But nothing has been finalized to my knowledge yet.
Great. Let's watch. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Let's watch.
We will never stop. You're not going to shut this slaughterhouse down, but to shut every slaughterhouse down.
My father's going to say a few words.
My daughter changed my life. Thank you all so much. knowing that you are all in the same boat that I'm in does make it somewhat comforting. I just told how Regan converted me.
Oh, yes, yes. Mark and Regan live upstairs and we're downstairs.
And 7 cats to keep us company.
Yes,
They are, we can tell.
they search for her.
Yeah, that's incredibly sad. I wasn't sure whether I should play it or not, but I think people would like to know the full story, and hopefully this will help motivate people to take action and get behind and support the Save movement, Toronto Save movement, LA Animal Save movement, etc. So there's a couple more clips. Let's just go ahead and go through those.
This is Ray Kowalchuk recording live for JandUnChained Canada, Burlington, Ontario. Today we have lost one of the members of our activist family. Regan Russell is an activist who is a frequently born witness to animals as they pass between the gates of slaughterhouse of this facility. We bear witness to the animals going through the gates. That moment when they go from being animals to somebody's food. And that is the activity that Regan was taking part in today when she was struck by a transport truck that they were loaded with pigs, and she was killed.
So some of the comments we're getting are, I can't stop crying for her loss. It's so sad. The driver should be charged for murder. Those are 3 different people commenting and just saying, thank you for doing this. Bless everyone who knew her. I did not, but my heart aches for the community and the animals, and of course for Regan. And over, I am heartbroken, etc. So let me just try if Ray can join us. Ray? Nope, he's still not there. Okay. Wow. So we have one more. This woman actually said that Regan saved her life. Let's
I
listen.
lost her voice.
We were a group of us actually. We went inside a dog sled operation in Ontario. We witnessed just absolute horror story. I had a chain around my neck that one of the dog sled operators was pulling tight. I was losing consciousness, and Regan had to basically, with her foot, shove the lady who was trying to strangle me. She basically saved my life. It sounds dramatic, but it was dramatic at the time. I was in danger of losing consciousness, and she got this lady off me.
Yeah, Catherine, every time we go for a movie, you're going to go mute, and then you come back on. So don't worry, you're not getting lost. Sorry about that. Amy, go ahead, Amy.
Well, I just wanted to point out that, yes, the investigation is hopefully ongoing. However, from the footage that we do have of that day, this truck driver was already being problematic in what he was doing with his truck, making it harder for the activists to bear witness to the pigs.
I don't know.
And he was stopped at the stoplight, and Regan was in the entryway in the pedestrian crosswalk in front of the slaughterhouse, and he clearly saw her because there's, that's where he was going to turn, and she was standing there, and he was quite a ways away from the truck, of course, because he was stopped at the stoplight. So he saw her. It was not that he didn't see her, and we can't speak to his exact intention or motivation, but what we can say is that this wasn't because she was standing somewhere in a blind spot or out of his view. She was absolutely in view of him for a few minutes. I'm not exactly sure the time, but he was stopped at that stoplight. Activists were giving water to the pigs, and she was standing in front in the pedestrian crosswalk in front of the slaughterhouse. So it wasn't a situation where he just did not see her. So that much we do know.
Right. And again, we have to invite the slaughterhouse in question and the driver on in Jane Unchained at any time to tell their side of the story. Thank you for that. Let's watch a couple more clips here. We have the LA vigil, right? This was after Regan's death. Oh, that's just a picture. Wait, I'm sorry. I'll bring that up.
Hello everybody, we're live on JandUnChained, out here with LA Animal Save and Animal Alliance Network for a special vigil honoring Regan Russell, an activist who died doing what she loves. You can see all the activists out here.
I just wanted to say that it's just so horrible that what happened. I'm happy we're out here to get justice for Regan, and there's just so much emotions right now, but I'm happy I'm out here with everyone, and I know we're just going to grow this community bigger.
Thank you for your words. Hello, we're live on JandUnChained. Would you like to share any words?
Yes, hi Jane. Thanks.
It's tragic what happened to Regan, and again, my condolences to her family and friends, but if anything, I think that she would have wanted her legacy to live on in this way, and I think this is going to make activists fight even harder.
Just I know that Regan would like us to keep on fighting for the animals, so just fight harder for the animals. This is just something that we need to keep on doing because this is something that we owe to her, is just to keep on fighting for the animals.
Thankful for Regan's activism and what she did, and like Genesis said, it makes us want to fight harder for her, for the animals, and we're here just to pay some respect to Regan and the pigs that are slaughtered here.
Those of you out there activating for the animals, we are all one, and her death represents the stand that we are to even go harder, to activate even more effectively, and I don't even know how to do that yet. More questions. I know I need to come out here more. I need to just get more creative, and I want to thank all of you out there that watch JandUnChained, and this is a reminder and the saying, you buy, they die.
Amy, go ahead. You were there that day. How are you feeling about the turnout and everything there? Did you feel that there was a strong support group that came together? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we had over 100 people there, and it was a joint collaboration between LA Animal Save and Animal Alliance Network, and we were there to celebrate Regan and who she was and who she continues to be through all of us. And we had the pleasure of Joaquin Phoenix being there to show his respects, and he, knowing that we live in a celebrity culture, use his voice to amplify her voice. And so that story is still going out, and more people are going to know who Regan was, what she was doing with her life, not just with animal rights, but with Black Lives Matter and Indigenous rights and LGBTQ rights. So Regan was the example that we should all strive to be as far as being an activist and fighting oppression of all kinds.
That's very well put. Katherine, do you want to add anything now when you see her in action? What thoughts come back or memories of her that you have that you can share with us?
Yeah, the video clips are amazing. I mean, it's hard to watch. We all miss her so much. But I agree with Amy. They show the world what her day-to-day life was all about. And it was her speaking up for the voiceless, be it humans, be it animals, for all living creatures. And that was how she lived her life. That's who she was and how she spent all her time. And seeing all the vigils, and the one that was just recently done in LA, her husband called me immediately after. He was thrilled. I know Regan would be so thrilled to have Joaquin stand up and be there on her behalf. And it's because of him doing that, and all the people like Amy, like yourself. There's that just little bit of peace that I get, and those who are so near and close to her, that all her work is not forgotten, not only it won't be forgotten, it's going to carry on in a huge way. I mean, it's global, it's massive, and so many people have contacted even me and said, I had no idea that pigs were in a truck like that. You know, we heard them crying and squealing, and you mean that really happens? And you know, people don't know. So because of her and all the work that you and Amy do, and all her activist friends and colleagues, I feel some little bit of peace right now that I know her work and her life will go forward. It's not over. She will not be gone ever.
Yeah, we will definitely not forget Regan. Amy, you're shaking your head. It sounds like you want to say something. Please go ahead.
I just echo what Katherine is saying. I mean, not only do I know this, but I saw it in the people that were out on Thursday night this past week for the memorial vigil for Regan. So I see it in people. I see it in the conversations that are taking place online. And so this was the ultimate sacrifice, and it will not have been in vain. It already is not in vain. Already it is uniting people, bringing people to the awareness of the global villain that is animal agriculture and the amount of power that they have. Some are talking about Bill 156 making it open season on activists, and so we need to come together, and Regan is helping us do that and fight Bill 156. And just as a small personal note, Regan left the world on June 19th, which just happens to be my birthday. So for me personally, I'm never gonna forget her, even more so than because of who she was.
Wow, that's incredible. Let's watch the vigil from.
This is where Regan was. Safety is a huge issue. This is exactly where Regan was standing.
She was just killed down the street. We're now doing a blockade. This is Lori, who was there with Regan. Thank you, Lori. This was one of the signs that Regan made. Animal Bill of Rights. Repeal Bill 156 and introduce an Animal Bill of Rights. It's the message here. The father lost his daughter here.
Amy, I wanted to mention, to address this question to you about 156. Now, it's already gone through, it's gotten passed, but it needs to be voted on. What's the rest of the process that needs to happen, and how can we fight against this bill and get it to be defeated?
Well, I'm not exactly sure of the details. If Ray had been on, I'm sure he knows more, being living in Canada. And so I don't exactly know all of the details for what's happening with that. I just know that it was voted and passed, and so we just have to get on repealing it.
I think that from what I heard, and I'm not totally positive, there was one more step for the courts to pass it or something, but that they said they had to wait for that, but that sounds crazy. I mean, I think we need to take action now and keep this in the news. And I want to keep having shows on this as well, and have more people on, and have you guys on again, because it is so important that we do not forget. And things that in our lives are so hectic with so many distractions. And in fact, Anita had a really important message. Let's watch that right now.
The meat industry, kill a vegan animal activist. So the meat industry killed a vegan animal activist. Say that out loud. The meat industry killed a vegan animal activist. Okay, so what we're going to do is in the next while is come up with lots of strategies, meet with each other, come up with strategies on how to amplify vegan, and locally, nationally, and globally. Let's all strategize. Let's meet in our little groups. Let's figure it out. One strategy is it's so wrong to kill activists. You know that with respect to George Floyd. So we're going to reach out to Black Lives Matter, which Regan supported, and ask them to tell them that one of your sisters was killed here at Slaughterhouse. We're going to tell them, and we're going to see if Black Lives Matter can help us out. And we are going to support Black Lives Matter. Let's go together.
So everybody is galvanizing and brainstorming and trying to figure out what they can do to help, and that's very encouraging. Catherine, do you feel like this is going to change things, having been perhaps not in this environment completely, not being I believe you're not an activist at this time. What do you think? I mean, learning all this knowledge and other people, what are the reactions you're seeing, and what do you think about the future? Do you think this can be something that can be defeated? What's your personal opinion?
Yeah, I don't know exactly all the details about what they're doing in Hamilton. I am in Winnipeg about the bill 156. I do know many petitions, protests are being arranged, have already been done. I also know through some of Regan's activist pals in Hamilton that they have arranged and have already set up meetings with the necessary channels, to go through to have this bill removed completely. Some of those meetings I know are taking place next week. Regan's husband told me he would definitely, keep me posted as to what the outcomes of these meetings are. In light of her tragic death, I can't imagine this bill holding. I can't. It is, she called it the ag, as everyone did. And our last conversation was about the bill and just her total distress and dismay with it, and saying to me, with this bill being passed, do you realize the work that now lies ahead of me? So, she was pleading with herself because this bill just threw a curve that she couldn't imagine that this could possibly happen, that we could no longer have freedom of speech, protect the animals, make others aware of what was going on. So I do know, back to what you talked to with Amy, that in Hamilton, the activists that stood by her, they're on the politicians' doors as we speak. And that I hope and pray that her death is for naught, that they abolish and remove this law immediately. And as Amy said, put the safety measures needed into place. Absolutely. And
Great.
Therefore people can bear witness in a safe manner. And that Friday, on your birthday, things should have been safe for her that day. And that was our last words, were be safe. She had told me about an incident that had happened.
Oops. Oh, I'm going to play this right now.
We haven't seen any pigs yet tonight. Unfortunately, we are, in the summer schedule where they come in very early in the morning. So we were hoping to see some babies tonight and give them some water and some love. But so far, it's just all of us being here, remembering Regan, and
I really see the community coming together, in response to all this. Her amazing energy has, it's spread through everybody, and everybody just feels more motivated to come together, because it's going to take our unity and togetherness to accomplish these goals that we, it just seems right.
Yeah, we definitely have to come together and keep up the fight and finish the work that Regan was doing by just annihilating animal agriculture. The industry is going to collapse, and soon. I know that the industry doesn't want to face it. Some of the people within the industry are, by investing in plant-based products, but they need to do it all now, because the whole animal farming industry is going to collapse for a lot of different reasons, and they're going to want to get out as fast as possible. So
wonderful.
Of course, we want to acknowledge Cesar and also Ellen Dent, who is the organizer for Animal Alliance Network. And Amy, I told you I was going to ask you this question. Can you address why you feel that animal agriculture is collapsing?
Well, we're seeing the spikes in the plant-based food sector. Plant-based milks are growing at an unprecedented rate. Beyond Burger, Impossible Burger, those products are selling in the stores and in restaurant chains, fast food restaurant chains. It's just exploding, and we actually see the largest growth within the African American community, which is really important because they also have some of the highest rates of different chronic diseases and early deaths due to being targeted with food racism, with food deserts, fast food industries targeting low-income communities.
Your voice went again.
We can hear you, Catherine. We can hear you.
Okay, sorry.
Go ahead, Amy.
And so people are being educated about how much power they have in their daily food choices, and they can fight back against all the different forms of oppression that animal ag is annihilating the planet right now with. And so as that education increases and people come together to fight for one another, including even the slaughterhouse workers, factory farm workers, which the workforce at one time was made up of 78% immigrants, many of them not speaking English and having to suffer incredible human rights violations. Because of all of the, I guess my bottom line point here is because of all of the damage that animal agriculture does in tandem with the medical and pharmaceutical industries in America, because of all the damage and because of all of the victims, we will come together speaking up for the victims. The victims will be supported to find their voice, to speak up for themselves if they're not animals, and fight animal ag from all of these different angles. And when you have, just speaking like economically, when you have a product that does not have ethics on its side, as animal products do not have ethics on their side, once that becomes accepted by the mainstream and they understand that there is no humane way to kill someone who doesn't want to die, there's no humane animal product in existence. Once people understand that it's as wrong to eat a pig as it is to eat a dog, speaking for the American culture, people are going to abandon purchasing animal products so fast, it's going to make the heads spin within animal agriculture and collapse that industry as a whole. The environment can't sustain it. We have products, the plant-based products coming, new ones every day. We have lab-grown meat. There's ways of producing that without using any sort of animal byproducts like fetal bovine serum or anything like that. You start with a couple of cells and you can create millions of pounds of animal flesh, and therefore that can replace things like pet foods. Yeah. And of course for humans too, they can decide I'll choose the lab-grown meat, which requires 98% less water, 99% less land, and so from every angle that animal agriculture destroys, there is currently pushback, and that's why these industries are going to collapse. And this is being said not just by the vegans and the animal rights activists, but environmentalists. There are think tanks that are analyzing market trends and technological disruptions. And so we're telling you now, change your business. Otherwise, you're going to be out of business.
Right, very well put. And we have some pictures here. I did want to show, if anyone has not seen these movies, Earthlings, Unity, Sean Munson, of course, created and directed, wrote these. And this one is coming up. Amy, is that correct? Beings is something you could talk about? It was on the website.
Yeah, so Beings, Sean has the concept all done for that, but he's seeing that there are some other things that are more pressing that he should be working on right now. So Beings is a concept that's on hold. He has a couple of their projects right now that are really, really needed in the world, in the movement and in the world. So Beings is on hold for now, but Earthlings is available to watch for free on earthlings.com. As a matter of fact, one of Regan's signs has the earthlings.com website on there, which is just amazing. And Unity, you can watch for free on Amazon Prime.
That's wonderful. So everyone should watch that. Let's see. Ray, are you back? Ray, are you back with us? Ray, can you hear us? Ray, can you hear us? We'd love to hear from you today. Hello? I'm not sure. I don't think he can
I've
hear
been
us.
following intently.
Oh,
Hello?
okay. There you are.
I can hear you.
Okay, Ray, you're on. Tell us, you came in.
Great to be here.
Great to have you finally, Ray. You showed up right after the tragedy. Right to address that moment for us. And I hear feedback. So we might have some trouble here, but try, please. Tell us what you experienced when you showed up after the pig vigil.
I have been involved with Toronto Pig Save for many years now, and there have been times when I've arrived at events like the time when the truck rolled over and the activist community in Toronto converged, and there's just such a scene of solidarity. That was like such a rehearsrsal for what I encountered when I arrived in Burlington.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really ready for that, but this sense of loss of most of our physical flesh, that one of ours had gone down, and the interesting thing was there was a silence amongst the social media that there was somebody who had died at the pig vigil, but we didn't know who it was. So for a moment there was. As you go through the list of people that you've borne witness with, you try to imagine going on without them, and it's just such a profound moment that we lose any one of us, and it's part of our family that is missing, and then you can't replace that. You can grow as a family, but there's always that seat at the table, so to speak, and. Arriving and eventually discovering that it was a person that we're so familiar with, and I didn't know Regan personally, but I know that we've spoken a few times over food. That I'm usually there sharing food with the activists. I've also shared food with people in the cars that are waiting, and even the truck drivers and police that are on the scene.
So would you say that the relationship with the police and the drivers is normally a good relationship? I mean, is it normally go smoothly, or was this an odd incident, or just this sort of something that's going on where there's a negative thing going on between the workers and the activists? What's the work there? Can you hear me?
I'm also involved in the Toronto Chicken Save and Toronto Cow Save, which are based in Toronto. All of the save movements started at Toronto Pig Save at a slaughterhouse that's no longer in Toronto. So it is since moved to Burlington, just west of Toronto. And I know that the relationship with the police in the other vigils has always been a lot more straightforward and a very clear understanding, partially because they have a close relationship with the plant managers who want to keep things safe.
Yeah,
and it's always been the Wild West in Burlington. It's just are coming from all over the country.
And again, Ray, we don't want to mention
the
name. Ray, we don't want to mention the name. Ray, we don't want to mention the name of the slaughterhouse.
Who actually are, there's close communication with them. So in the Toronto Pig, that it's very much that there are new police that arrive at the scene, and after that they tend to be really cooperative.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I just want to move on now a little bit. I want to show, because we're just about out of time. Thank you for your statement, and we're having a little trouble hearing you. So I thought maybe I don't want to forget to talk about how people can take action. This is on the Toronto Pig Save website. When you go there, it shows you what, well, first of all, what happened for those who are unaware, but also how you can take action. So if you just, we're going to be putting those links in, and here are the demands. It's a little difficult to read, but all the information you need is there to call, to make phone calls to the particular slaughterhouse, which we prefer not to mention, and we do invite them on at any time. That's Furman's, of course. I'm being a little absurd there, but and also the chief of police. We have the number for the chief of police, and of course, politicians. So that's the action that you're being asked to take. But also, I just want to show these babies for a moment. These babies are what, 6 months old at best. Look at the way they're coming in. And if you listen to some of the videos I was noting where Regan's frustration, where she was saying in the beginning about how they're left in the heat and et cetera. And Amy could, of course, address this, but we want to get people down there. So I just want to, before I let you add your closing words and et cetera, I want to show the times here. We've got the LA Vigil times. So you could go to the websites and check out the times for the different various vigils in both LA. There are different times, and this was all on LA Animal Save website. And then for Toronto Pig Save, the weekly vigils are listed on a calendar. So we really want people to go to the websites, which I will be posting in just a moment. As soon as we get off, they'll be posted. So please, people, take action. That's the most important thing that you can do here today. If this is moving, if this information to you is moving. Okay, I'm going to give everybody a last chance to speak. I'll start with Katherine. Katherine, what would you like to leave us with here today?
Thank you, Lindsay. I was honored to be part of this and to be part of, Regan's legacy. It is because of her I have become an activist. I am vegan. She's influenced me, and consequently, because of that, I've been able to influence others around me. So just another example, as Amy said, of us all spreading and sharing her word and realizing that animal agriculture will and has to become a thing of the past, of history. And thank you. I just feel truly honored to be even part of your show. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. And thank you for coming on. And please, would love to have you on again. Amy, what can you say now to help us get through this moment, please?
Well, I would encourage people to read about who Regan was and the things that she did with her life, the fights that she was involved in to try and fight oppression and injustice. Learn about who Regan was, and find the inspiration to become like her, and fight and do something. If you have time, then you have the most valuable thing in this life. Please put it towards fighting injustice. Come to the vigils here in Los Angeles. Our pig vigils are not back on just yet, only because we have so many people who show up that it's not in accordance with the current guidelines due to COVID. But our chicken vigils and our cow vigils are back up and running. There's one every week. There's a cow or a chicken vigil here in Los Angeles. I encourage everyone to join the vigils in Burlington and the 3 slaughterhouses in Toronto, and check out the websites for that. And the investigation to the killing of Regan is ongoing. We have lawyers on it working to make sure that we get justice for Regan. So if anyone out there is worked up about this and think that nothing's being done, believe me, everything we can do is being done right now. In fact, even because of Joaquin's presence at the memorial vigil for Regan, People magazine called the police department wanting to know what was going on. So we have pressure coming from every angle that we can. So we are going to get justice for Regan. We are going to get Bill 156 repealed. and continue until we have liberation for all.
Those are such encouraging words. And I do urge you to come back on and keep us posted, and let's keep this going. And also, if there are any petitions, we may not know, because Ray probably could have addressed that. Unfortunately, we lost Ray again, just on here for the moment. But yeah, if there are any petitions or anything, actionable items we can sign, I will be happy to broadcast about those in the next week or two. And I want to thank you both for coming on, taking your time out to come on to the show today. I really appreciate it. Amy and Katherine, thank you so much for coming on at this sad time. So folks, we're going to wrap up tonight and today and say goodbye now. So don't forget to come back and check for those links, that we really need you to help us here. We really need your help. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.